You were ever fond of saying that the Venthyr do not destroy. We educate.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
time you were reminded of Revendreth's noble purpose.
Okay, I never truly understood the purpose of Revendreth. Oh, that's narrow.
Bind me here. I am eternal. I am your master. I am Revendreth.
They somehow are using the light to trap this guy.
Remember this lesson.
So, despite everything that is going on in the game right now, with all the news, the recent news, and all the situations with Blizzard and companies and whatsoever, I am really tired of it. I was gonna make a video about it, but I decided not to. I think simply there's a lot of things wrong that need to be addressed. There are serious issues that need to be addressed. There are legal consequences that need to be addressed. And the game is gonna be changing. But one thing that will never change, no matter what people say, is the lore. And the fact that the developers are trying to tell a story. No matter who they are, no matter what they are. This is something that transcends the individual and that transcends the little regard that our current generation have for this lore, for these narratives, which in reality have been going on through civilizations, through different societies, all the way from the Greeks, from everything, from the Iron Age, etc. As I've been saying, if my thesis is correct, this goes beyond what we usually think of the lore. So, quite fittingly, what I'm going to be talking about this video is the last two campaign quests, the latter quests. It kind of started slow, but then it kind of got very interesting. And one of the things that I want to talk about is understanding Revendreth, because all throughout when I was covering the Kyrian campaign, one of the things that I did was to kind of trash talk Revendreth a little bit, and Maldraxxus, and Maldraxxus, I still don't know what's going on over there, but now I understand Revendreth with this storyline. Revendreth is all about redemption, quite a fitting concept with the current situation in Blizzard. But in any case, this ties into what they are trying to present later on the quest, which is this larger scheme, this larger all-encompassing scheme that it has been going on. So I had not understood Revendreth before, so the purpose of Revendreth, as Prince Dreadlords says, is to educate, not to destroy. And yes, people have been saying that the whole thing about Revendreth is like a big purgatory place and so on and so forth, but it all starts coming into place with the courting campaign. They start explaining not only how Revendreth fits, but also the Dreadlords, and I'll go in that in just a minute. But it's kind of cool to see how the Narrow are involved, the Light is involved. I was thinking, like, why didn't they put more about the Light? And I'm thinking that we're gonna see something related to the Light in the latter chapter of this courting campaign. I'm sure they will start connecting everything, because they sort of use the Light to capture the Nathrezim on that little scene. It's just like a little scene. I wish they would explain everything, but in their budget, in their time constraints, I know the writers team are trying to tell a story. So I kind of found this little quest quite interesting, where they are trying to gather and try to make this soul understand that her actions weren't correct. And what is correct then? What is the purpose of everything? Later on, when they go into Tyrande and Elune, they sort of go into that gray line between right and wrong. What is the purpose of the gods? So I thought it was kind of interesting that they put this as part of the Revendreth area. And the New World.
Countless ages ago, just after the first Venthyr was sired, Nathrezim unveiled another creation, the Nathrezim.
Oh, okay, they're gonna
forged to be the ultimate infiltrators, They bore the influence of death into the realms of our rivals, as well as the worlds of the living.
Okay.
Despite their subtlety, one of these incursions was discovered. In response, the full wrath of the light fell upon Revendreth,
Full wrath of the
setting ablaze
light.
the ward once held by the Nathrezim.
What is the role of the
Once
light in the
Naru
Shadowlands?
routed, the Stonebright turned to anger upon the Nathrezim, blaming them for the loss of so many of her children. The armies of Maldraxxus did not rise up to defend us, so the Stonebright carved her Stone Legion to strike back against the light. The conflict was ended by Nathrezim, who said he would exile them to a world beyond the Shadowlands. Nathrezim never told me what became of the Nathrezim. Only later did I learn that mortal souls had come to know them by another name. The Dreadlords.
Ah, I see. Dreadlords is beings which are against the light for some reason. One of the things that I really hate about some of the current conversations about the game right now is that people are saying, oh, there's no lore in the Shadowlands. And I'm like, one thing is that there is no lore, and another thing is that you do not understand it. Now, I am not someone who just picked up the game. I have been going through the whole Shadowlands campaign. I always read every little bit of lore, even the little books around, or the little scrolls around the areas, which have you click, and even though they're like one paragraph, because they understand that people don't read the quests, they give you little things and little ideas of the story they're trying to tell. So now, in this part of the quest, they explain who are the Dreadlords, and one of the things that I'm really liking is that they are trying to connect the classic lore, the original, the Burning Crusade. Right now they have the Burning Crusade. Of course they have market ideals with this. Of course they have market goals, and they want to sell both games at the same time and kind of have the expansions from one in between the expansions of the others and whatnot. But in any case, they're trying to conjoin them together. But going beyond the market strategies, what they are trying to do is explain demons. What is their role? Why do they matter? Who are they? The Nathrezim, they call them. These Dreadlords that we all saw throughout all of Classic, and not only Classic, all other games try to explain demons, religions try to explain demons, ancient civilizations trying to explain quote-unquote demons, these evil entities who are influencing our worlds. And indeed, they do explain it to you right here. They are infiltrators of realities. They are interdimensional beings. I've done this video about TVC and the whole thing that they are trying to manage. That these things are interdimensionals. They're not just in the physical world. They are something else. And it's quite interesting that the idea of these Dreadlords, of these demons, of these Nathrezim, is to infiltrate quote-unquote realities. And of course, the rivals of the realms of the Shadowlands. So they were created by the Nathrezim to in order to infiltrate his opponents, something like that. Okay, it's World of Warcraft. All these covenants are at war with each other. Makes sense, whatever. But at the end of the day, they are trying to explain one of the biggest themes in the fantasy medieval epic narrative, which is demons. Who are they? What is their role? So now it is important to understand what is the role of Revendreth. Because as I said, I just understood it like fully the last time that I played. The role of Revendreth is this purgatory to sort of... The Shadowlands need anima to survive. They precede realities. Out of the Shadowlands came everything else. Came realities, and they have these strange cycles and this strange dynamic in the realities, in the world of the mortals, where they have experiences, they have them go about their days in whatever world they choose, because as I said and as I've been saying, they actually use the word multiverses when it comes to the Shadowlands. So Azeroth is just one place. they talk about an infinite amount of possibilities and worlds, and they ask you when you go into Bastion, what world are you from, what society are you from. There are infinite possibilities. So they have this whole cycle going with reincarnation, with the whole thing about Ardenwald, and then Revendreth. They're trying to guide them. So you can see all this engine, this system that the Shadowlands was, and Revendreth plays. They're not evil. They do not destroy, they quote-unquote educate, so they tell you about their role in the Shadowlands. Now, these Nathrezim, these Dreadlords, were created for a purpose, to put the influence of death into the worlds of the living. And now the Light found out about this, so they tells you who the Light is. What is the role of the Light? I've been asking myself, what is the role of the Light in the Shadowlands? How do they connect all of this? The Light seems to be really against all this evil, against some of the aspects of the larger scheme that is within the Shadowlands. So the Light went against this. The Light did not like this, and now this is a theme that goes beyond this narrative. There is the real theme in theology where the higher God, the higher head of the pantheons, the higher theological power was trying to create something and was trying to create a larger scheme, but then one of the factions, one of the pieces rebelled, and they became the fallen angels. They became the lords of the underworld, or something that was not aligned with that higher godhead, which we may call in the World of Warcraft the Light. So they realized that these Dreadlords, that these Nathrezim, were doing something that they didn't like them, and then they went against them, they banished them, and even their own creators went against them, and they blamed them for all the issues. So you can see how these Dreadlords, these Nathrezim, suddenly fit with the larger stories, with the larger narratives of the quote-unquote fallen angels, which are demons. And perhaps even the devil itself. So who is this jailer guy now? Is he the devil, or is he someone who used to be part of the whole scheme of the afterlife, who rebelled and fell down from grace?
Reveal yourself, Mal'Ganis.
The harvester of realms. How I have missed your purity of conviction.
Organic sounds very familiar.
A pity it will now be lost forever. Nathrezim, bring me her fangs.
This guy has like a lot of HP. He's not hard.
We need not be enemies. Join us to save Revendreth and end your
We
exile.
were never in exile, you gullible thing. It was all part of the Master's plan.
Oh, it was all part of the plan.
While you remained fixated on a paltry medallion, we seized the true prize, Remornia, with the Sire's essence held within it. Our mission never changed. For eons, we have done the Master's bidding in secret across countless realities.
Oh.
The Legion, the Scourge, Argus, all pawns in a game beyond your grasp. One that now nears its end.
So this is actually a big lore.
Keep your trinket and your realm. They are dust in the face of our sire's true ambition.
So it's
If
all about the
only you had
Nathrezim.
just obeyed.
Man, I so wish that I would have downed them with like at least a normal. But I had to go LFR. So they had the whole thing planned out for some reason, the Scourge, the Legion, everything is a deeper plan that is connected to the afterlife now, as we know. Well, of course, there's demons, there's different realities and everything. Okay, let's see what they say. This is like big lore. I wasn't expecting big lore tonight. Our brethren have returned to us for the right reasons. He says they're brethren, and okay, I never could have imagined the depth of their betrayal, not only of Revendreth, but of the Shadowlands and all of reality. Yes, these are interdimensional beings who invade realms. This is what demons are. Indeed. It was all part of the Master's plan, the fallen angel, the one who rebelled at the whole engine of the Shadowlands, which I think in this case is the Nathrezim, and these Nathrezim are serving the Nathrezim. So as they say, the Legion, the Scourge, Argus, all these negative, chaotic, demonic influences that have afflicted not only the world of Azeroth, but the Eredar and other worlds and other realities are part of our larger scheme, of a larger plan that goes beyond your grasp. Beyond the grasp that all the people who are trashing on the game and the current lore and all of this, it goes beyond. As I've been saying, this is a company that has 4,000 plus employees, and they have got to have a writer's team, they have got to have people doing research in the things that they do, because at the end of the day, it's a large company, and there's got to be some sort of order to it. And I can tell you, as I've been saying all along, I have a thesis on these lore narratives, and I've been doing research in real life about many philosophies and things of that nature. This is a real theme. The whole theme about this larger scheme and the fallen angels and so on and so forth. It's amazing that they are bringing this concept right here in the Shadowlands. So now we know that the Nathrezim, they have something much more deeper than we think. A larger scheme, which when paired with some of the other aspects of the lore, when I recently downed Sylvanas, I learned about the Jailer's true plan or something like that. I didn't want to watch the cinematic because I wanted to down her at least on normal, which I did with the help of my guild. So the idea of the Jailer is to create a new reality. So this concept of fallen angels, which are the same, either if it's the Nathrezim as the devil with horns and, you know, the whole red aura about them, or the Jailer more of a dark underworld being or character, it's the same thing. These are beings who rebelled the larger order of the light, or the larger order of the Shadowlands, and they want to create a new thing, a new reality, and either destroy the current reality or create a new one on the side. So this theme goes way beyond the normal narrative, the normal right versus evil and so on and so forth. What we are seeing, and now the World of Warcraft is getting a lot of trash and a lot of negative judgments from people who, live quote-unquote degenerate lives, and they spend their whole lives playing video games and just going into the Twitch culture. And it's very unfair because this goes beyond these basic things. The lore goes beyond. And now what they are trying to do, these new MMOs, is trying to go past the traditional medieval narrative, which is this Dungeons and Dragons, this romanticism, this light versus evil, into a more cosmological nature, something deeper, having to do with interdimensions, interrealities, and even aliens themselves, space and technology, all conjoined into a timeless. There's no time out there in space. I made a TVC video about this, and when you think about Final Fantasy, they're trying to do the same thing, going with the whole Magitech and, exploring the worlds beyond. So, as we can see, World of Warcraft is not being left behind. They have not lost their track. They have not ceased to be out of the sudden the powerhouse that they were for 15 plus years. You cannot just delete something like that because people are overreacting or being influenced by social media, which is a new generation phenomena that is going to be going into history books in the future. And there's a lot of fake news, there's a lot of people who are trying to clickbait into negative thinking, there's a lot of these sort of little things going on, but it's not being left behind. There's lore here, and yes, absolutely, 100% a lot of things have to change within the company. I get this lore by grinding anima, by grinding dailies, all time gated. I wanted to do this on the first week that the campaign came out. I thought I was going to be able to just dive into the lore. I couldn't. I've been having to do a lot of things to go past my renown and whatsoever. But in any case, it is there. And with a few tweaks that the company is actually doing, I think they have a sea of opportunity to lead the lore into a new age that is on par with the other MMOs who are bringing up the competition. So I'm really excited about what the future could lead. I'm still gonna be playing World of Warcraft as long as there's lore in it, and my conclusion after all of this is there is lore. And with all the internal movements that have been happening in the staff and in the culture and in the outlook of the Blizzard team, I think World of Warcraft still has a chance to keep evolving with all the new upcoming competing MMOs. If you would like to know more about the lore surrounding these fantasy narratives and how they perhaps connect to real-life theories and philosophies, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, as I will try to find these connections and explore the possibilities that these lores can provide. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.